Hi, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Dr. Cammy and Karen Go Keto, where we're working on transitioning from a standard American diet to a ketogenic, lower carb diet. And now we're working on carnivore diet and basically getting our carbohydrates as close to zero as possible. And we're here today to do a little checkup and just to kind of check in with each other and see what's going on in our lives and how things have been happening for us. And so I'm going to go ahead and have Karen start us off with just kind of catching us up. What's been going on, Karen?
Hey everybody. So I have been under the weather since let's see, about 2 weeks, 2 weeks today. And so I probably will just be doing a lot of nodding as Cami talks because it's been affecting my sinuses. And the funny thing is, I'm very rarely sick. And so I'm always a whiny baby when I get sick. And it almost always affects just my sinuses. And that's where it is now. My mom was sick, and a couple of other people around us have been sick. And it's lingering, it's annoying. It's changed my taste. I did actually have a half a piece of toast this morning at breakfast. And here's the funny thought. It's like I was thinking that the toast would help the sinus drainage go down more easily in my throat. My throat is just annoying me. And I'm not even really sure what the toast tasted like. I put about 2 pats of butter on this half a piece of toast and then I salted it. So it really tasted like salted butter. And so, I mean, that is to me one of the things that can change your trajectory because little obstacles like not feeling well, feeling under the weather. Fortunately, for the most part, I haven't really felt like eating a whole lot. It's almost like wanting to just eat the steak and eggs and get it over with kind of thing and not enjoying it quite as much, and really only eating one meal a day. I should be a few pounds lighter, I think, by our Sunday catwalk. As you know, I missed the last one because I wasn't feeling very good and nothing really had changed then. But this has been, it really kind of set in after last Sunday. So hopefully by next Wednesday, it'll all be over with. And it is proof that, maybe the carnivore diet doesn't solve everything, or maybe it's because I've changed my gut biome and that's the reason why it is coming up. Who knows? Nothing that's, critical, but just annoying.
All right. So I wanted to ask you about potatoes. When you're going out to eat, are you eating any potatoes at all anymore? Or are those completely gone?
They're not completely gone. I eat them like almost like every other time and I eat less and less. So I would say if you were measuring it, it's not an actual potato chip because it's like a sliced potato. I don't know what they call them at the restaurant. It's not hash browns where it's grated. It's, kind of sliced. I would say it's like the size of 3 potato chips. And I put my eggs on it. And sometimes I eat that and sometimes I don't. I didn't eat it today because I ate that toast and I thought that the toast would help things go down. So I don't know. It's probably maybe another week or two before they're gone completely. I did talk to my organizer who's going to help me reorganize my schedule a little so that I may eat out less and just kind of look forward to eating out once or twice a week, fasting a couple of times a week, and maybe putting that down on paper as a
Because
plan.
you are eating out less, right? So that's a good thing. I think that's a step in the right direction because before we were recording, I asked you about that and you said you're eating out less,
Yeah,
which
I'm
is
eating out
great.
a lot less. Yeah.
But I was wondering if eating the potatoes still is what encouraged you to want to eat a piece of toast because that's not on your food plan.
Actually, it is on my food plan because I've never taken the potatoes out of my plan. The potatoes are in my plan because of my explosive diarrhea experiences.
No, but the bread was not on the plan.
The bread was not on the plan. No, I don't think it was no, I think it was really more the taste sensation. Really, not even the taste. It was really the sensation of, because I tell them to give me just very few potatoes at the restaurant. So I could have asked for more potatoes, but she had already brought the pieces of toast. So I just said, usually I say no toast, but it's a different person. And so I got 2 pieces of toast and I only ate half of one piece of toast. But it was really around the idea of a texture to see if when I swallow, I could swallow more of this postnasal drip.
Yeah, that's one of the things that I do notice that I miss on carnivore still is texture issues. Wanting something crunchy or wanting something like when you bite a piece of toast that has that little crunch to it and then it's soaked in butter. And the only thing that I seem to be able to find on carnivore are pork rinds that can be really crunchy, and I don't really like eating them, so it's rare that I'll eat those. But
I did find a good chaffle recipe. You know, the little chaffle, you make it in a little tiny round
mhm,
waffle
mhm.
maker.
Does it have dairy?
It does have dairy. I mean,
See, I'm trying to watch the dairy, except for cream. I'm eating cream, drinking cream in my coffee, and sorry,
yeah,
excuse you.
yeah, you could. I don't know. You know, you probably could do it without dairy. It's egg. Well, they're normally cheese, so you can't do it without cheese, I don't think. I mean, it's something that you could play around with because you could do egg and water. That's basically an omelet, right?
Hmm.
You could crush up some pork rinds and mix that into the batter. And you know, it's funny. That could be the reason why I ate the toast because I actually had thought about last night about I need the crunch of a chaffle. I thought about that and I was thinking I should make some chaffles because I like chaffles and I don't mind having a little bit of dairy. And I just think maybe maybe I was looking for, I mean, maybe even last night I was looking for that texture to get this.
Yeah, yeah, you miss it. I do.
It's not that I don't normally miss it generally. It's just that I really feel like there's just stuff in my throat and it would be much easier to get the stuff that's in my throat instead of coughing it up to get it to go down. As though like the little piece of toast is going to find the postnasal drip and go, "Oh, come here. Come here.
Uh-huh,
I'll hold on
uh-huh.
to you and take you down into Karen's stomach." I mean, that's a gross thought. I'm sorry, everybody. I
No, but
hate being sick.
that sounds like a story to me, and that's what I've been learning about me lately is that my life is a series of stories that I've made up from past experiences, and that's what's been going on with me as far as my thinking and my behavior. I've been working on trying to I've on the thought processes and that go on in my head and how I speak to the world. And so it's been very interesting because the first thing I have to do is be very aware of the thoughts that go on in my head. And instead of reacting to them with another thought or another thought that leads me to an action or behavior, I need to pause, rearrange the thought, and then act on it in a healthier, different way. And so that's been a challenge for me, and it's new, and I'm learning, and it's like flexing a new muscle and getting a new muscle memory going on. And so I was thinking one of the things I want to do, I just haven't had time to journal it, but I want to make the time. I could probably do it today to journal about my stories and to get all my stories written down in one spot. And some of them are like classic, some of them are like the one about how my mom wanted me to be boy twins. And so I was the wrong sex and the wrong number of kids. And, it just is so funny how that made me feel like so defective when I heard that at 8 years old. And what it really was that she wanted to have a boy. She wanted a girl, boy, girl, girl, boy, boy, so that she would have 3 boys and 3 girls and be done with having her kids. So it really had nothing to do with me or being unworthy. That's how I took it. And that's how I've lived my life from there on out. Another example is how she didn't come to my graduation from medical school. And so it was like, what's wrong with me? And that was all her gig. That was because my dad was there with his wife. So it really had nothing to do with me. So I have to kind of take myself out of the equation of those things that happened that affected me in ways that I decided to have them, be stories that I would live for the rest of my life. And then I put it out into the conversation and I'll tell people, yeah, my mom didn't come to my graduation from medical school. So I'll keep it going as a conversation instead of eliminating that and being grateful that my dad was there with his wife. And some really good friends of mine from California came out for my graduation in San Antonio.
Well, what's the point that you're trying to get across when you say my mom didn't go to my medical school
Poor
graduation?
me, poor me. You can pity me. Poor me. Let me sit on my pity pot.
But why would people pity you for that?
Because people could feel sorry for me. People would be sad for me.
But
People
why?
would,
Because I
because,
would say, oh, wow, that's great. Your mom didn't go. You're so lucky.
well, you're different than most people.
No, I'm not.
Well, that's what most people don't say that when I share it with them. They're
But what,
sad about it.
yeah, but why?
I don't know how else to say it because it's a sad thing that your
What
own
makes it,
parent.
what makes it sad?
It makes it sad how much my mother means to me, and to have her there would have been really important.
And what's sad about that?
I don't know how to answer that question.
How are the two related? It's important that your mom show up and she didn't. What in that action, like your mom had a great reason. She was keeping her boundaries in place that she didn't want to be in the same space as your dad. So you can't support her in her decisions to be strong in the face of adversity.
I guess that's one way to look at it.
So why do you think it's sad? Why do people think
Because she
it's
wasn't
poor
thinking.
Cammy? Her mom wouldn't go to her graduation. It's not like she got into a car accident and couldn't make it. That would be like, oh my God, that's too bad your mom couldn't make your medical school graduation.
That would be a legitimate reason. I don't think that her reason is legitimate. I think she put herself before me. And I think that in that situation, when it was something that was so important and that took 10 years to get, and then I sent myself through all my medical school and all my training by myself. That's another story.
It's not, it's the same story.
It's all the same story. All of them are the same story.
So your mom just doesn't think you're important. You think your mom doesn't think you're important. That's what makes you sad.
No, that's not what makes me sad, because I know I'm important to her, because the times when she wanted to show me off as the doctor or the beauty pageant finalist or whatever it was, she would grab me and use me and show me off to people and say, this is my daughter, the doctor. That's how I've always been introduced. So I know that I'm important to her when it's convenient for her to introduce me as my daughter, the doctor. But certain times, it's not important to her. So that's just dealing with a narcissist. And, that has nothing to do with me. That has to do with
everything. No, but you're the one that's upset that she didn't go to your graduation.
I'm not upset. I'm not upset anymore about it.
You're still talking about it.
I understand completely, because I'm trying to give examples in this video about things that I used to talk about that I'm not going to talk about anymore, so that people can see where I was and where I'm going.
Okay. So you're not going to tell that story anymore.
No.
I think that that's excellent, except for maybe from the standpoint of, how it affects your mom.
Well, she lost out. I mean, that's her business. But all right, so we're going to continue these stories later on, and you'll be hearing a lot about how my thoughts and behaviors are changing, and hopefully you'll be seeing it.
All right, everybody. See you around.
Take care. Bye.